We are looking at Dr. Ulrich Klotz's paper, Investment Casting of Platinum Group Metals, Casting Challenges, Process Parameters, and Resulting Material Properties, published in July 2019. Now, he touched on a topic very briefly in this paper, one that is very often overlooked by many casting facilities of platinum, and that is the problem of silicon contamination. We quite often see this glassy, reflective surface on the inside of the crucible in our casting equipment. Sometimes it's translucent, sometimes white, sometimes even bluish in tone. This is very common, and we most often see this with crucibles that have been reused numerous times. Why does this matter? Because that glassy surface can cause brittleness to our platinum metal, and it is a source of contamination. And this effect will stack every time we reuse metal, like the buttons and the scraps, especially if we're not adding new metal into the mix in every subsequent cast. And this problem of brittleness will become increasingly obvious. How brittle, you might ask? I've seen spruce snap off a tree with my bare hands kind of brittle, and we don't want that for our jewelry. So what is this layer of glassy surface in our crucible anyway? Well, I'm glad you asked because I've had this question for a very long time. And Dr. Ulrich does talk about this and explain it in his paper, so it was very enlightening for me. He talks about stress and possible defects if we're melting and casting at too high of a temperature. And this is a topic we also covered last time on casting temperature and about superheating or platinum ruthenium. If you missed that video, click on the link below to check it out. Quoting directly from the paper, increasing the melt temperature can be detrimental to crucible and investment material. Both refractories are based on silicon dioxide ceramic, which is silica, which forms several phases of different thermal stability. Silicon dioxide shows excellent thermal shock resistance, which is important to enable the very high heating rates without crucible failure. However, tridymite melts at 1670 Celsius, which is below the liquidus temperature of most 950 platinum alloys. Excessive heating, both duration or temperature, can result in the softening of the crucible and dissolution of silicon in the alloy, which might then result in hot cracking and embrittlement of the alloy. And this is especially the case for the alloy with high melting temperature, such as 950 platinum ruthenium. And therefore, melting duration and superheating has to be limited as far as possible. There are a few key takeaways for me. First, I've always known that silicon dioxide is the default material for crucibles for platinum casting equipment, and that it can withstand the high temperature of melting platinum. I've also heard of something called silicon contamination that causes embrittlement, but I've never really tried to piece it together because I just figure silicon is probably one and the same thing. Now I know that the overheating of silica ceramic above 1670 Celsius, which is much lower than most platinum alloys melting point, can cause the melting of tridymite. What is tridymite? Tridymite is the unique crystalline form of silica refractory, so basically it's referring to the crucible that we're using for casting. That actually melts at 1670. So when the crucible gets softened, when it goes above that temperature, it causes the dissolution of the silicon into the metal content. And hence, that's how we're getting silicon contamination. And like we said, this is going to cause brittleness to our platinum alloy, and that's something we definitely do not want. So technically, silica ceramic actually cannot withstand the high melting temperature of platinum, at least not for an extended period of time. Most factories actually do not report brittleness as part of the problems with platinum casting, so we can only assume that silicon contamination isn't their top-of-mind problems when it comes to casting. So there must be a way we're getting away with it, but how? Well, we often mix reused material with 30 to 50% new platinum with every new casting. The reason behind that recommendation is to counter issues of contamination, such as silicon that found its way into our metal, just to dilute it out with the addition of new platinum. And finally, is there a fix to this? Is there a better way or a workaround to prevent silicon contamination? Absolutely. Dr. Klotz did talk about this on page 6 of his paper. Crucibles with the addition of zirconia were found to show the best compromise of chemical stability and thermal shock resistance. We'll be doing a video on how to add zirconia to your crucibles to protect them and to get the best use out of them. So subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more new content coming your way in the next few weeks. And let us know if you find this content to be useful or if there are any other topics that you would like us to cover. Leave it in the comments below. And to sum it up, our standard silica ceramic crucibles are a great commercial choice for our regular platinum casting operations. But that crucible is not going to be able to withstand high heat over long periods of time, especially at platinum alloys melting temperature. So please do use it with care. Don't overcook it. Don't superheat if you don't have to. Don't hold that platinum molten in that crucible for too long. And definitely do not use the crucible until it's reaching its breaking point. And until then, we'll come back with a video to tell you how to treat your crucible with zirconia and to get the best use out of them.